Welcome to the Rainmaker Podcast, where smart agents learn the latest secrets and strategies to dominating their market. If you'd like to dominate faster, go to marketmakercall.com to find out how we generate you leads, nurture those leads, elevating your status and authority in the mind of those leads, and automatically deliver those leads as appointments direct to your calendar. It's new, it's patent pending, it's exclusive at one agent per zip code. Go to marketmakercall.com right now to check your area's availability.
Woo! What's up, everybody? Mike Otto here. Hey, today I want to talk to you about a conversation I was having with one of my sales guys, and he's going through a sales slump. So if you've ever been through a sales slump, listen up. This is going to be helpful for you. I've been on a little bit of a break over the holiday, 4th of July. This is actually the first piece of content I've created, I think, since right before the holiday, and it feels good. It feels good. It's also interesting getting back in the saddle. Sometimes when you go out of town like that, you gotta push that rock back uphill to get the momentum back. But, I'm having a conversation with the sales guy, and again, he's in a sales slump. And, what happens when you're in a sales slump is it's almost like having a raw wound, right? Like anything that comes closer, even the wind blows, like aggravates it, right? So when you're in a sales slump and your back is against the wall and you need to get some money coming in, you kind of start to fumble the ball on everything. I mean, a lot of guys talk about commission breath, right? Like, oh, it's a joke, but it's true, because what happens when you're in that position is, you are overly analytical and, introspective, thinking that, everything that you do is going to have this sizable impact to the outcome of whatever it is that you're trying to work on to get out of this slump, whatever sale you got cooking, right? Whatever prospects you're talking to. And it makes us behave in a different way. As a young man, I was always taught that, you can't think straight, right? Like an entrepreneur, business person can't think straight without 10 grand in the bank. My dad always told me this. And one day, as an older man, I was like, hey, why was it 10 grand? He said, it's not. It's different for everybody. He's like, I'm just giving you a number so you can understand the concept, right? Because if you're making decisions out of need and you are operating out of fear because you have had a little bit of a lull in your productivity and production, the point is you're not going to be able to think straight if you don't have some excess capital to make sure that, when the rainy day comes, so to speak, you're fine, you're golden, it's no big deal. And, I think that is probably the biggest impact psychologically that you can have on helping yourself in a sales slump in the future. But for the here and now, if you don't have a 3 months of reserve capital in the bank, which you always should as a business owner, you should also do that for your personal finances. Then, you're like, well, gee, Mike, that doesn't help me today. What should I do? Right. So here's the advice that I gave to this individual salesperson. I said, when you're in a sales slump, you have to make sure that you are doing 3 things every day. And seriously, you shouldn't do this just when you're in a sales slump. Sales is mental. You should be doing this all the time, right? So you have to do something physically for your physical well-being. Go to the gym, get some blood to your brain, right? Go for a walk even. I don't care if you do jumping jacks or push-ups, right? Something to get some blood to your brain and take care of yourself physically every day. The next thing is mentally, right? Make sure you're putting in some positives. Make sure that you're listening to some sales training, some things that'll help you get off of you, right? I'll never forget when I first learned about personality types and how to recognize personality types. When I would go to meet prospects, I would be sizing up their personality type. That got me off of me. That got me off of being uncomfortable or thinking about my mannerisms or what I was doing. I'm checking them out. I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about, what makes them tick and how I'm going to be able to communicate to them in the highest, most efficient manner that's going to help me close the deal, right? And so getting some positives put into your mind, whether it's an ebook, a podcast, even this, what you're listening to right now, right? More resources that you're committed to every day. And this should be part of your routine, right? I like to do these things in the morning. Sometimes it doesn't always suit. So anytime, just make sure you're checking that box. And the third thing for me is spiritually. I like to make sure I'm putting something into myself spiritually on a daily basis. Now, I got to be the first to admit, I'm not like uber disciplined to the point where, I'm militant about these things. I do give myself a lot of grace if I miss one or two or all. However, as long as it's at the forefront of your priorities, you'll get back on that saddle, right? Like I just did. Just got done with the gym, just got done doing those things this morning, going to continue to do them today, even though I took off a sizable amount of time, because, I wanted some R&R and get out of that mindset for a minute. And, the thing about sales is it's mental. It's a mental game. And it's really interesting because it's a challenge against yourself. And so if you're in a sales slump, that's the quickest way to get out of it. I arguably would say if you're in any kind of a life slump, that's the quickest way to get out of it. And, just be kind to yourself and make sure that you see it as it is, not worse than it is, and that you go to work, trying to improve it on a regular basis, a daily basis. And if you need some resources for those type of things, Audible is a great one to be able to get some audiobooks. I would definitely go and find some cool trainers on podcasts and definitely get some of those. Personally, on the spiritual note, I like to listen to Joel Osteen. I know a lot of people, there's tremendous love or hate. I feel like he's a sales trainer or like kind of a life coach with a biblical spin to it. But that's me. Anyway, hopefully I've given you some things to think about, added some value to your day. Thanks so much for listening. Make it a great day.
If you want us to generate, nurture, and deliver appointments directly to your calendar, I want you to go to marketmakercall.com right now and check if your area is available.